We're adding a bard to the party today. Let's draw a Dwarven Bard. That's right, if you've been around the channel, you know we've been doing a adventuring party. We have had a wizard who does eye magic. We've had a Kenku druid who does rot magic. And we've had, of course, our barbarian, dragonborn sailor man. But today it's time to get a little bit more chill and a little bit more musical and get for ourselves a bard. Now, I didn't want to do just any bard. I wanted to do a Dwarven Bard. That's right, why not go against type and make for ourselves a musical metal friend who loves rocks and stuff. Look, I don't know a lot of things about dwarves or bards, but we made one nonetheless. So I took to the stream and asked my community what they thought our bard should be, and we came up with the following list of things. We wanted them to be a dwarf, a female dwarf. That sounds like a Sound of Music. It's a dwarf, a female. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Anyways, we wanted them, of course, to play an instrument. We wanted something that was made of metal, and, you know, maybe a keytar or a xylophone came up. And I think we ultimately decided on a keytar xylophone, which is a wild thought. We wanted them to be a rock goddess, maybe into heavy metal, that sort of vibe anyways, with piercings. Maybe be related to being a smithy, so using hammers and metal. And then, as a character, maybe they think the world is ugly, they have low trust, they're aggressive, they're nihilistic, they're apathetic, and ultimately they're an isolationist, but they love that rock. Literally. And figuratively. So with that in mind, we headed over to our sketch. And as per usual, I made a few poses and started iterating on some ideas. We did, of course, go over and try to look at some reference art and images just to help get the brain flowing. We don't copy any of that art. We, of course, use it just for inspiration. And always a great way to get yourself started so you can fill your brain up with lots of interesting ideas and then push them to new places. And you can see here, we've got this fantastical pose. We're trying to sort of play around with like vests and hairstyles and this whole keytar thing, xylophone thing we're going to invent. And yeah, just really sort of messing around with the vibe just to see what ultimately we can come up with. Ripped jeans and fantastic boots, all the favorite things here in our sketching phase. Of course, in this phase, we're just trying things out, having fun, no pressure. This time we went with a hat because, you know, hats. And I was really having a hard time with the face, but I knew that if I just let the face go while I'm sketching, that's fine. We'll eventually make a face. And I think this was sort of a like more big jacket, kind of fancy vibes. Maybe shorts, jorts even, cut off jeans. And with that, I had two sketches that I was happy with, and it was time to push into a more detailed sketch. So we dove into it here, trying to cement the look of our character. I've often said that I am growing as an artist and trying to get better at drawing women particularly. And so you can see me here trying out a few things, trying to nudge and make this sort of work the way I want it to work. I think we landed on a pretty nice look in many ways. I was really proud of this face, and because it was coming from basically nowhere in my brain, and that's hard to do. Next up, of course, it was time to think about hair, and I wanted there to be just sort of a massive ponytail to really just kick this up to the next level. And so you can see me building the foundation of that ponytail, where I will eventually draw in the rest of the hair once we have the rest of the body. I did love the sort of large flowing vest idea, and so you can see me working on that, as well as, you know, some sweet cleave, because you gotta have some sweet cleave for the rock life, I guess. Anyways, we're pushing in further here into our drawing. The keytar, I had ideas about how this was going to work, but I didn't really care to sketch them out on the sketch. I figured I could do that eventually, and that would be perfectly fine. And yeah, we're just pushing in with some complex boots and some torn jeans, and just really finding ourselves a happy medium here for our character. I think I ultimately moved this leg a bit. I think I tried making the pose a little bit more dynamic, and I realized, no, I think the foot needs to be back, just to like work for the idea. And more or less with that, we have something of our sketch, and it's time for us to dive deeper into our drawing. with our fantastical... Actually, it looks like we're changing up the hand. I realized I wanted to have a little hammer in the hand to be playing the instrument, and so we did that before we moved on. And of course, I still haven't yet gotten my big hair in here, so there's that big hair, and I think that's our sketch, and we'll come back to check out our inking. So with inking, as per usual, this is the time that we want to solidify our ideas. I started adding in some of the nose rings and earrings and other things that would just make them a little bit more hard rock. And again, I was really happy with how this face turned out. Again, it's not my strong suit. It's not something that I have ever really felt super confident in drawing. And yet here we are doing it in a way that I'd never done before, and it really worked out. And so, you know, I want to say to anybody out there who feels like their drawing isn't quite working or they're not super confident in what they're doing, that like practice, try, do it again and again, and you will make some progress over that time. But it does take time. So, you know, jump in there and start doing it. Don't be afraid. You can see me here trying to just rough out the ideas for this body here. They're wearing sort of a t-shirt with a vest on them, and I'm just trying to work out the lines to make the fabric sort of look like they're hanging properly. Not something that I find super easy to do, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And you can see that we've got this little hammer here to play the guitar xylophone. Would it be a guitar xylophone or a xylophone guitar? Probably would be the proper way to say it. And yeah, we gotta get like a guitar strap in here, just so that, you know, their instrument is actually living and breathing and floating on them, not just sort of in the air. Detailing in this ponytail, not ponytail, braid, and I think I'm really happy with how the braids turn out. By the way, I don't think I said this, but my name's Patrick. I'm an artist. I love drawing pictures here on the internet, having a good time with art. I think having fun with art is more important than being good at it, and so we try our best to challenge ourselves, to do weird things, to make things that we don't always feel confident in, and just to see what happens. Sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's a disaster, and you can guarantee either way that I'll be trying to have some fun, just like we had today with this wonderful Dwarven Bard. I almost called her a barbarian, so I switched it out to Bard. And you can see here I'm trying to figure out what a xylophone guitar would look like, realizing that the various plates that you hit on a xylophone, the keys, would need to be of a decreasing size or increasing size, depending which way you look at it. And I'm pretty happy with that guitar. Just gotta get this hair in here, and we'll be ready for some color. Here is the sketch in its final form. So when it came to color, I really wanted to go with some vibrant colors. I started with this pink and I realized, no, it's not quite what I want. And I shifted it over to some cyan, a really bright color. And then I wanted to pair that with some darker colors and tones. I also wanted to have a darker skin tone. I tend to default to my own skin tone or something close to it. And I feel like I want more variety in my characters because there are such interesting and beautiful colors in this world, both the fantasy world and the real world, and I don't want to sort of miss them. So you can see here, we're just sort of trying to pick colors that represent this character's ideals. You can see me color shifting here using the saturation tool to see how dark the darks are and how light the lights are, so that the contrasts can be a little bit more defined. This is something I love doing. I talk about it a lot because it really helps with defining contrasts. We do need to get some makeup on here, I think, just because they're clearly a style icon. They know their stuff, and we gotta make sure that they look good. Getting that matching nail polish to the hair, real smart and sick looking lady. And yeah, I think with that, we're just about at the end of our base colors. We get in here and start doing some threads for these ripped jeans, because of course jeans would have that kind of rip vibe. And it's time for us to drop in some shadows, hit up some highlights, and find ourselves with a final reveal of this character. Let's go check that out right about now. that's going to be it for our project today. This character received a name, Ruby Forgeborn. I thought it was a fun little take on some dwarven ideas, some metals, and Ruby felt like a rock name that really could hold on to her own. We'll add them to our party here, as you can see, and there's only one left to join. That's right, the last thing on our list will be a paladin, which I'm very excited to share with you. He's a partier, and he loves to hang out. So, Super Chill Bro coming in the next video for the adventuring party. That'll be the last member of our party, and we'll move on to another big mega project. If you have ideas for projects like this, things that you want to see, make sure you drop them in the comments. I'm always trying to find more ways to have fun with art, and if you like the idea of that, make sure you subscribe and follow and like and all those things. YouTube loves that, so you may as well do it. That's going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm a small creator, and watching the videos really means a lot to me. So thank you so much. That's going to be it, and until next time, keep being awesome. Bye!